Your Think Tank Tuesday edition of the morning show continues right here on ETV, and welcome back. In today's edition of our Real People Tech Stories series, we're getting into how businesses can actually equip their teams for success in an ever-evolving workplace. And joining us live via Zoom is Nic Laschinger, who is the Chief Technology Officer at Euphoria Telecom, which is a company that is leading the way in innovative telephony solutions for businesses. And he's going to help us unpack this and understand what it exactly means. Nic, welcome back to the morning show. It's so good to have you with us.
Thank you so much, Balele.
I mean, let's talk about, businesses and how they can actually improve their technology solutions. Why, in your opinion, do you feel it's important for businesses to pay close attention to providing employees with the right tools and workspaces to actually do their jobs effectively?
Well, it's not completely altruistic, to be honest.
Yeah.
There's a very much a philosophy of businesses wanting to get more. They want to get more out of their employees, they want to get more out of their businesses. And conversely, the people don't often realize that the best way to get more is to give more. So if you start giving to the people, giving them the right tools, giving them the right spaces, giving them the right education, then suddenly, there's that very old story of the CEO and the CFO sitting around the table one day, and the CFO says, what if we train our people and they leave? And the CEO turns around and says, well, what if we don't and they stay?
Ooh, that is so powerful, because even if you don't and they stay, does that mean that it's actually assisting productivity in the way that they actually need it to be, done in the workplace? And I think, that's something so important for people to actually then consider and think about. And I think in most cases, many businesses actually just feel or assume that laptop and internet connection are sufficient. But what additional tools do you think that they should actually then consider when building a comprehensive digital toolbox?
So like a toolbox, depending on what job you're trying to do, you're going to need different tools, right? Mm-hmm. Now, those tools can often be something as simple as, I've got a little app, for instance, on my laptop called Copy Click. Okay. And that is it's a little application that allows me to see the last 10 things that I copied. Whereas before I was doing things like, copy that, paste it. Okay, hang on a second. Actually, I want the thing that I copied before that. And something as simple as a little piece of software like that can change your life radically and increase your productivity. But a digital toolbox comes in many forms. A digital toolbox comes in, what are the tools that you're giving to your staff? Have you asked your staff? I mean, there's a very famous quote that actually wasn't true. Henry Ford saying 100 years ago that if I asked people what they want, they would have said they wanted faster horses. But often if you ask your people what can make your life easier, they will tell you. They know. And it's not just necessarily tools. It was also their spaces that they work in. Are they in the right frame of mind? Are they in the right place? Is the environment around them conducive to them working, to them collaborating, if that's what you want from them? And then going into do they have the right knowledge? Are you training them? Are you training them consistently? Is your environment an environment of learning? All of these things is a multifaceted aspect to getting people to enjoy their work, to perform better at their work, and to bring more.
Absolutely.
And yeah. In anything.
No, you can go ahead.
Sorry. In anything, I do believe that life is not about one party giving and one party taking. That's never sustainable, right? So if everybody is coming to the line, if the business is giving and growing the individuals, well, then the individuals are going to look to return that favor. So they're going to put more of themselves into the business because they are feeling fulfilled, self-fulfilled, and they're getting that growth out of it. So the tools come in many forms. They come in the forms of things like your LMS, your learning management systems, and those are really quite easy to achieve these days with things like WordPress plugins. They come in the forms of things like your online learning, and you've got resources like Udemy, you've got resources like some of the universities, a number of universities in fact, have a lot of online free courses. So if you are not encouraging your people, you're not encouraging your teams around you to embrace a culture of learning, then how are they getting better? How are you as business getting better?
Absolutely. You touched on so many important aspects and elements that, sometimes are then ultimately neglected, as you have mentioned, in business and working environments. Now, at Euphoria Telecom, you guys actually specialize in telephony solutions. Can you then share with us how maybe a cloud-based system can actually improve business communication and operations?
Oh, wow. I could talk all day on that one, I'm afraid. It really is. I'm a big believer in a viewpoint that's not so popular in the world right now. Over the last number of years, it's been like, oh, well, your telephone system's just a telephone system, right? It should just make you receive calls. And I'm like, no, you're missing the point. Your telephone system has information about your customers, that has information about your business, that if you don't know it, well, then you're missing a trick. If you want to know who your 10 most pissed off customers are, well, look at your phone system. It knows. If you want to know who the customers are that you have ignored and haven't spoken to in 6 months, well, your phone system knows that. Your phone system is the lifeblood of your business. It is what connects you to the world, that and email. And yes, there are more channels coming, and we are embracing those channels as well. But, that information is incredibly powerful with understanding what your business is doing on a day-to-day basis. If you don't know how many phone calls yesterday your receptionist took, or how many WhatsApps, how are you going to know how your customers are trying to reach you? Do you know if all those calls were answered? Do you know what happened on those calls?
Sure.
Because for us to say, hey, we had 1,000 telephone calls yesterday, is pretty meaningless. Or maybe it sounds like it's a busy day.
Sure.
But to know that of those 1,000 calls, 900 were sales, well, then we had a great day. To know that 900 of those phone calls yesterday were complaints, well, then we're doing something wrong, obviously. And we should be looking into the reasons why. So your communication platforms, telephony and otherwise, will give you great insight into how your business is operating, how the world perceives you, and how you are reaching and they're reaching you.
What would you say then are some of the challenges, or have you picked up some of the challenges to be then, and the ones companies actually face then when introducing new tools or software? And in your view, how can they then overcome some of these challenges to actually ensure smooth adoption to some of this new technology?
So with introducing anything new into any environment, well, people are generally quite adverse to change, firstly. They don't like change. They don't like new things. And particularly when management has a nasty habit sometimes of throwing things at people and saying, well, just get on with it kind of thing. There is a psychological phenomenon called the change curve, which is a very widely accepted kind of stages that people go through in terms of adoption. And the one that people often underestimate the most is very aptly called the valley of despair. And the valley of despair comes shortly after adoption, after you actually put it into the workplace, where people are going, oh, but the old software didn't work like this, and I don't know my way around this, and I'm not comfortable, and I'm just not gonna use it, and that part is the hardest part to get through. And that's where most implementations fail, because people aren't expecting it, people aren't prepared for it, and people haven't warned their staff, their users about it, going, hey guys, this is what you're going to experience and this is how we're going to get through it.
Absolutely. Just in wrapping up our conversation, I mean, for business leaders that are watching and listening to the conversation that we're having today, how best do you feel that they should take actionable steps then towards, getting such solutions into their business and actually then making them successful, not just for their business, but for the teams within business as well?
Sure. Okay. Lots of questions in that one. How best to apply it? Speak to somebody who aligns with your business strategy. What are you trying to achieve? If you know what you are trying to get to, well, then you can work on the how. If you don't know what you don't know, well, then you're probably not going to move forward. Sure. But the question is what data, what tools, what objective are you trying to achieve out of all of this?
Absolutely, and I think it's so important that businesses actually know that, just so that they actually know that they are, getting the right solutions into their businesses and not the popular solutions that they actually feel maybe are working for other businesses but are not actually meeting their objectives. Just also in closing, how can people get in touch with you as an organization, and maybe you have the solutions to assist them?
Our website, we have our contact details on the website, www.euphoria.coza, and there's phone numbers, there's email addresses, there's contact forms. We even have chat available on the website, so pick your poison. However people want to get in touch with us, they're welcome to.
Oh, fantastic. Nic, thank you so much for joining us on the morning show. I think you've just shared such valuable insights, and I think it's quite clear that businesses need to take advantage of such opportunities.
Thank you, Palele. Have a lovely day.
Fantastic. You too, Nic. That was Nic with us right here on the morning show, just speaking to us about Euphoria Telecom and the sort of solutions that they bring to businesses and how they can actually make running your business smoother and easier. That's where we will leave our conversation for now. Remember, you can get in touch with them on their website if you are seeking their offering and their services. But stay with us. We'll be back with more right here on the morning show.